If I told you 7 days ago that Bunny would outplay Ines in dungeons or in Vessel, nobody would have believed me. Now, let me talk about what's happened since this Arcade Tree update, because this has massively changed the game to the point where Bunny is, in my opinion, actually 100% better than Ines, depending on the circumstances. So let's talk about it. Now, with the Bunny build that I normally run, I am able to absolutely rob dungeons. Ines's number one weakness was the fact that if she did not get the mobs off the bat to get the kills, she would not be able to build her resources. Now, this is a gameplay of me playing in public with an Ines and 2 Serenas in the lobby. As you can see with Bunny, I'm already far ahead, and with this build, I've emptied this room in a single grapple. Bunny just is insane, and I'm using electric condense to keep this up. Now, I will show the Bunny build at a small later point in this video, but you can see me absolutely running away with it, with Ines literally nowhere to be seen. Give it a moment and I will spin back around, and you will see, even on my minimap, nowhere to be seen. Ines is all the way down there, and I know this is public, but we have to assess the general gameplay of Ines in public. You're not going to run into a perfect looping scuffed Ines every single time. There you go, Ines has caught up. Now Ines has caught up, Ines has casted her fourth. The spread on her fourth, even still, is not enough to completely and utterly rob Bunny of kills. With Bunny, once you've got the third ability on, you run away with all of the kills and everything inside of the lobby. As you can see here, I'm still running, jumping, getting a ton of kills whilst Ines is catching up and has borderline just about made it into this part of the mission now. You see, with Bunny, once she runs away with it, if she's got the lead, she can completely and utterly run away with it in an absolutely insane way. Now, let me analyze this in a different run, and just with a different tile set, and just with a lot more information that you might need. Okay, so first of all, let's compare the times in a solo dungeon. Now, we are only going to be comparing from the beginning of the dungeon, so the exact frame that red starting time goes, I've got a stopwatch in the corner so you guys can see exactly how long it is going to take for every single one of these runs. Now, bear in mind, I am aware that there's going to be moments in this run where we hit walls, where we get stopped by mobs, all that sort of stuff. The reason I've kept it in there is because it's realistic. Every single time you run this, you're not going to get a hyper specific perfect run, and that is something you've got to be aware of. Now, with Bunny specifically, you can see that this is just ripping through absolutely everything. The electric condense nuking with that great AoE just means that Bunny has absolutely nothing to stop her and nothing in her way. You can see already we're coming up to about a minute marker. I just hit a wall right there, but you can see that we're almost halfway into this dungeon with less than a minute on the clock. This is a great run so far, and even with Bunny's AoE, using the grapple and everything, you can see that this is genuinely absolutely ripping. Now, I will be providing gameplay of Ines from Choco. I did ask him to give me a good run, so, you know, I'm trusting him with that one. And even if he does mess up, I did say to him that, you know, it's still completely fine, and it's okay because, you know, I'm gonna mess up in my run anyways. And he was like, I bet I got you, so we're gonna go with that. But as you can see here, Bunny, with her third ability active and even her fourth, you can just spin with the grapple and delete the entire room, and you can electric condense the leftovers and they are going to be gone. Like, this is so fast to a point where it almost, if not beats Ines's fourth ability in a solo. Debatably. That's what we're here to find out. Now, I did say in the title of this video that Bunny actually bullies Ines and the Bunny meta has returned. So I will be talking about that a little bit later. This video is going to be a long one. But over here, let's just keep an eye on the time, and there you go. 1 minute 58.03 seconds. Now, I've switched the run over to Choco's run. So, let's see whether Choco's Ines is capable of going over, if not under, that time. We'll see the difference based on the gameplay right now. So starting off, you can see Choco is already going in with his first and his fourth ability with Ines. Now he is jumping a lot, because if you jump with Ines, you can somewhat reduce the cooldown, or sorry, reduce the animation and not lose as much speed whilst casting. So he's constantly jumping with Ines, and he's not using his fourth ability, because in this run, we were both using completely max sprint speed statistics. So we were both running 59 to 60% with the movement buffs and brisk walk and stuff like that, and we were both getting full speed out of everything in our arsenal. Now with Bunny, I was permanently at sprint cap because of the way I've built my Bunny. Choco, I believe, is basically doing the exact same thing with his Ines. Now you can see he's catching up to the room, but in terms of his time, he's lacking behind by 10 odd seconds. Now even though the gameplay is you know, kind of choking because of the PC, we're still going with it because that is still a part of it, and this is something that is genuinely really important. Now Bunny is significantly easier to run on a PC or even on a console. Ines can crash your console or your PC. She can make your life hell. She can make your FPS invisible. She can ruin your day, keep making you crash a million times over. So I just wanted to mention that it's not actually a massive thing. Could it make the difference in a run if you keep lagging and freezing? Yeah, absolutely. But as you can see here, we are getting pretty close to the time where my Bunny ended my run, and Choco has not even managed to clear the jump section yet. So you can already tell that Bunny is faster than Ines in a solo dungeon. Now, is this definite? Is this for every dungeon? Yes and no. This can depend on the dungeon, the tile set, and a million other factors. But as you can see here, Choco has finished at around 206 seconds, around give or take 10 plus seconds from the Bunny. He missed the grapple, so I just left it at the frame where he touched the pillar. But even with that, he's still 10 seconds behind Bunny. Okay, so let's talk about, if not conclude, what just happened with the solo runs for Bunny and Ines. Now, Bunny is overall faster, her movement is better, her ability with the 3 means that there's less to do when mobs are around. You leave your 2 on, or you sprint with your just sprinting, and you just run straight through everything and it will die around you, and that is as simple as it gets. With Ines, she must cast abilities which do slow her down a small bit each time, and over the period of time over an entire run, this can slow you down a lot more. When she casts her 4th ability, there's another animation that must charge up. That is going to slow you down even more. So Ines genuinely gets slowed down whenever casting anything, versus Bunny with her 3 that just runs through everything and calls it a goddamn day. Now Bunny, if she wants to charge up her electric condense, she can literally jump and then charge her electric condense up, activate the ability, and she loses little to no speed. Ines, if she does the same thing, which you did see Choco spamming jumps whilst using abilities anyways, still does lose speed compared to Bunny. I did frame by frame, side by side all of this to the point where like it's insane details, but Bunny is generally overall faster. Given speed is her niche, I am absolutely not surprised. So that is the difference in solo dungeons. Now if we talk about the boss fight, Bunny and a Smithereens is not as fast as Ines on her own, so Ines will be the faster one inside of clearing the bosses because she can spam her number 1 ability and it will go side to side in bosses. But Bunny with a shotgun is like 2-3 seconds difference, and honestly the time based off them runs would end up being little to the exact same, if not slightly faster on either side. Now you may be asking, what are the chances of this happening consistently? And I'm going to be the first one to tell you that they are higher than you think. Even if Bunny and Ines do get off at the same time, same line and everything, and Ines still builds her ability up, when she's casting her 4th or anything, Bunny will get slightly ahead. Now I was literally waiting for this Ines. I let him enter the room that I was leaving, so that is in my opinion not a massive time jump. He can still use his first ability through walls as of right now. Now if this does get nerfed on Ines and her first ability can no longer go through walls, I think Bunny is going to be the clear winner when it comes to dungeons. Bunny's 3rd ability is superior if Ines's 1 cannot go through walls to help her build her resources. Now even in this run here, you can see myself literally running away with this to the point where I will be like 2 to 3 rooms ahead of the Ines, and with this build now, Bunny does no longer leave any trash behind. Ines cannot build anything up on her own. You can see me over here literally just fucking flying through this dungeon, and Ines is entering the room as I've already completely deleted everything without any speed buffs because she cannot build up any resource. Now, my internet with this Ines was horrific, and it was 3:40 in the fucking morning whilst recording this gameplay, and this was literally the only Ines I could find after like spam running 400% for like over an hour. So forgive me if the gameplay is scuffed, but that does not change the principle of this. I did run against my other friends with full investment Ineses against my full investment Bunny, and the results were basically the same. There comes points in the run where I run away with it and completely stop these friends from running and building resources up, which in an Ineses dungeon run is basically catastrophic. So I'm gonna give you the gameplay between a full max level Bunny, full investment arcade tree, inversion, statistics, everything and all, and the same for the Ines. So let me show you the full, raw, unedited, unfiltered, everything interview between me and Choco running back and forth, and let me show you what happened. Okay, so this is the main test between Ines and Bunny when it comes to running a 400% specifically. So I've got my Ines expert Choco with me here. Choco, you know, say hello or something?
Yo, hello.
Hello. Okay, right. Just a few guidelines that we're setting. So both of us are running complete max sprint speed weapons. We are using the adrenaline rush inversion, and then I will be switching over to my Python to activate brisk walk as well. So we are both permanently at movement cap as well as beyond movement cap. So that's just the guideline. So there's as minimal factors ranging between the Bunny and the Ines build. Choco, what build are you rocking on Ines? Just like, you know, general description, components and reactor, please.
For my build, it's a general like max crit build, and for my reactor, I'm running crit damage and cooldown with Slayer set.
Okay, Slayer set, same thing. I'm running Slayer set over here, and then I'm running singular and duration up on my reactor. And then for my arcade tuning, I am going with full damage and then sprint speed. You are running damage and sprint speed on your tree as well, right?
I'm running skill power max MP, but I could change it to.
Okay, I was gonna say if you want to run skill power, the sprint doesn't make a difference because we're both permanently at cap. So I'm running this anyways. Okay, let's run a Forgottens. Because that is the one that's not bugged. Echo Swamp is bugged at the time of recording this. So we're going to see how this goes. We'll do a private operation, just so there's less people in the way. So it's going to be whether Bunny can get started faster or Ines. My prediction is Bunny.
I think it might be Bunny, but we'll see.
We will see, because the tree has fixed Bunny's damage. Bunny's main issue prior or to this update was the fact that she didn't have enough damage to get started on this stuff in the tree. Okay, let's see. Sure. If one of us blocks each other in the air, it's actually over, bro. Okay, this is interesting so far. Let me know if you can't build resource or stuff like that, please.
Okay. So far, so good.
Okay, that's
okay,
fine.
now we are taking over.
I'm completely taking over. Yeah, you can't build resource or anything at all.
Actually, I can somehow. We are spreading my damage.
Okay, so Bunny spreads Ines's toxic, Ines's ability, right? Okay, then you're catching up around about the same. Okay, that's fine. That's interesting. So with a completely maxed out Ines build, that's very similar to Bunny's. This is interesting. Because your fourth ability spreads faster than I can run, is the main thing I think I've figured out, or the main thing I would say.
We left some enemies.
We left way too many enemies behind. Holy shit. Bunny and Ines moment, man. Alright, I'll come back towards you. Alright, then let's
we finished it.
Okay, that's fine. That's still funny as fuck. Okay, so I think unless it's a genuine maxed out Ines, this is like insanely close.
Yeah.
Because for an average Ines player that's not running the same stuff as the Bunny now, I think they will struggle a lot.
Exactly. Well, the point is about Ines, you can throw your force and just leave it do.
But
Do you
what
lose a room?
if that Ines nerf stops Ines from shooting through walls? I think Ines is
Yeah,
gonna then Ines isn't gonna have a chance. That's gonna actually be Ines done.
like not a single chance. Yeah.
Cause the only reason I think you're building resource right now is because you're able to get them through the wall right now, isn't it?
Yeah, and you also killing them. It's kind of spreads my. Okay, you blocked me. Anyways.
Okay, yeah.
The spread through all like clutched it.
Okay, the spread through wall is the only reason Ines is able to keep up now. So I think generally this is like actually the 180, man. But Buddy Better has returned, my fucking queen, bro. Now, Ines's abilities are
Ines
still...
can catch up. I'm kind of surprised she can catch up and I can build my resource.
She can catch up, but the thing is, I think that if Bunny gets even the slightest bit ahead without Ines using her abilities first, Bunny can run off with it completely.
Yeah,
how much damage did you do?
Let me see. I did 200 million.
Exact number.
Okay. Yeah, like they're kind of close, but the issue with Ines is I need enemies when we spawn.
Because I did 212,465,609. What did you do?
Oh, okay. Let me check it again. 200 million 808,778.
So in the end, I ended up doing even more damage too. Fuck.
Yeah, because you took over like 3 rooms and I was just sprinting to catch up.
Yeah, that's it, man. Like, I think genuinely for a completely maxed Bunny on my side and a maxed Ines on your side, that means that for an average Ines versus a higher end Bunny, because people invested more in Bunny earlier in the game, I would say, but I still think that people have invested a lot more into Ines now. I think it's a very, very back and forth conversation, but Bunny is definitely back in the conversation for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Choco, thank you so much for your help, man. There's someone insane in my lot. Oh, that is an insane name. Are you seeing that name about Freda, bro? Holy shit.
Wait. Oh, she did want it.
That name is insane. Anyways, Choco, thank you so much for running with me with your Ines. This was a very, very big eye-opener. I think this is actually the change of meta running for dungeons, maybe, if people invest in the correct Bunny build.
I agree on that, 100%.
This is insane. Right, well, thank you for this short interview and test. I appreciate your help, and let's go back onto me rambling about stuff in the video. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me.
So let's take a look at statistics on Bunny and on Ines. Now, for my first statistic, the one I use primarily, it's the Peacemaker with triple 20 times speed on the cores. Now you can see here, I'm already running at max sprint speed constantly because I do have the arcane movement on my tree. So even with just this weapon in my hand alone, I'm permanently at sprint speed cap, which is what you want. Now, if I was to take the speed off the tree, which I'm just going to do for argument's sake, if you look at my sprint speed now, I am at 1280. When I activate Bunny's second ability, you can see that goes up to straight 1300. But do I need Bunny's second ability? Not really. I can just use the tree to basically switch this and be at permanent sprint cap. Now, same story with Ines actually. So with Ines, let me just change Descendant real quick. I will show you how it goes with Ines. But before I do that, let me show you the statistic over here, the Nizra's Devotion. Now with this, it has only got 17% sprint speed on it. So, you know, not a very high roll on it at all. So when we run with this, you know, you are just going to be running slower anyways. When we run with this alone, we've got 936 sprint speed without the arcade tree buffing us. However, if we use Bunny's second ability, you can see over here that we are still at max sprint speed. So the only reason we have a statistic on Bunny is for literal just sprint speed. Once your MP runs out, the higher sprint speed you have on here is literally just going to make less of a difference. If you run full 60 as well as the arcade tree, or even 56 above with the arcade tree, you're permanently going to be at sprint cap, which is something you definitely want. Now, same story as with Ines actually. More or less the exact same story for that matter. With Ines, this is how it goes as well. So with Ines's first and fourth ability, you have to charge up her fourth. Once you cast her fourth, you will again be on max speed even with the slowest of weapons. They give the exact same buff of 50%, except Ines's also gives movement speed, which is in turn going to scale slightly more with the sprint speed cap that she's going. Ines is on a technicality faster. However, Ines is still slower at the same time because you are limited by the duration of your build. As you can see over here, I'm running faster for a shorter period of time, and then at this time it would be when my MP is to run out, or if I don't have any resources, I'm essentially screwed with Ines. With Bunny, however, if you have a good skill cost on your build, and even with my build, the one that I'm running for this for the most part, my skill cost is still longer than what an Ines's second or fourth ability would be. Now, I rely on just running into mobs, deleting them, getting all my stuff out of it. But if I'm using my proper sprint speed stat stick, then once I'm sprinting here, there is literally no difference between sprinting with my second ability on or sprinting with my second ability off. It is just a field of view tricking you, and that is literally it. You are still at the exact max sprint speed cap, and that is the main thing that you got to remember. If I've got that on, now I'm at permanent sprint speed cap. Sorry, forgot about that. But yeah, this is literally the fastest you're gonna go. Meaning with this bunny build, you don't even need your second ability to be going max speed. The only thing that I would suggest for your second ability is, if you see here, you scale decently far with your grapple. With your second ability on, you can scale a tiny bit further. So that is the only thing I would recommend to have your second ability on for. But the scaling on that is all based on momentum. And let's talk about the next bit of this video. So for the next bit of this video, I'm going to talk about all of the pros, all of the cons for both Bunny and Ines. Let's start off with Bunny. Now, with Bunny overall, I feel like you need less investment. Most people have already thrown catalysts into Bunny, so if you are deciding between one and the other, I would say Bunny is genuinely the better option. Bunny is less effort to play, so with Bunny you will just use her second ability, use her third ability, run through everything, and occasionally use grapple whenever you want. Use the melee flick at the end to grab yourself more momentum and proc your third ability even more. Bunny is also more newer player friendly because you will be able to get her earlier in the game, basically immediately in the game if you were to consider that. And Nexon do plenty of events where they literally just give you the chance to buy and get a ultimate Bunny straight up. So in terms of accessibility, Bunny is the more friendlier one. Now Bunny is, as I've shown in this video, faster for going through dungeons based on time and even in squads. This is where Bunny becomes a lot more important. She's also 100% self-sufficient. Getting MP drops from the mob does count as self-sufficiency in my opinion, and if you run this, you are basically all good to go. When I get to Ines's counterpart, I will mention this, but depending on the squad, I'd say Bunny is overall better in group play. Now, if you were to run a squad with 4 bunnies, or even Bunny and like other Descendants that are not Bunny, you would still be perfectly fine. This is not the same with Ines. Now, overall movement can be better with Bunny, but this is subjective to the player. If you know how to use your grapple movement correctly, and you know how to, just generally move correctly and optimally with Bunny, Bunny is overall the faster Descendant. Now, the last and main thing is that Bunny is significantly better in open world versus Ines. So open world Bunny gameplay is going to be a million times better than it will be with Ines. Now, let's talk about the Bunny cons. Cons with Bunny are really not that existent. So the first con is that if you run out of MP and you don't have a max sprint speed weapon, you will not be going at max sprint speed, but even that can be negated by literally just getting a max sprint speed weapon. That is the only con I can think of. Other than that, to get the proper Bunny experience to absolutely rip Ines's apart in dungeons, if you would like, you need to max out the RK skill tree, and that is basically it. Other than that, in a dungeon versus Ines, she's slightly slower at clearing the room. Not drastically at this point like it used to be. The arcade skill tree adding damage onto Bunny has fixed it and allowed you to one-shot everything to the point where Bunny is, in my opinion, the more viable Descendant. Now, that is all the Bunny's pros and cons, so let's talk about Ines. Now, Ines's pros are also very, very good. Ines will never run out of MP due to her passive ability, giving you MP every time she crits, and if you are building Ines, you want to be building her with crit. She's better for room clearing with her 4th ability, having the spread. She's also better to delete dungeon bosses at the end of the missions, because her 1st ability will just flick between each of the bosses, so she's faster to do with that. Now, if you don't have access to the skill tree, Ines is more useful than Bunny, I would say, because she can use her teammates to build up resources. Now, Ines's 4th ability is also really nice because it gives you sprint speed and movement speed at the same time. Now, is that better? I would debate it as a pro/a con because you do have to build up your resource, and then that is going to allow you to do that. She's more efficient at clearing bosses, and in Spec Ops, Ines is the safer option. Now for Ines's cons. Ines has more cons than Bunny right off the bat. So Ines needs enemies and she needs mobs, otherwise she cannot do anything at all. If Ines has her mobs robbed from her, which is very, very much easier now with Bunny, Ines cannot get started, causing a plethora of problems for Ines. Her biggest downside is that she's British. You know, we don't like the British people. I am literally British myself, so, you know, relax. Other than that, her abilities slow her down. When she casts any ability, if she jumps, it will still slow her down. Casting her 4th ability will also slow her down. Her 1st ability, 2nd, all of her abilities slow her down. Next up is her 4th ability can completely animation cancel, meaning you will try to use her 4th ability and sometimes once in a while it can absolutely cancel on you and do absolutely nothing, leaving you there, and if it's a life or death situation, it can mean death. Now, Ines also needs speed from her weapons or to perfect loop her 4th ability, and that does involve casting her ability yet again, her 4th ability, which does slow you down to the point where Bunny will just completely and utterly overtake you. Now, comparing Ines's 4th to Bunny's 2, Bunny's 2 is much more maintainable in the long run, and Bunny's 2, if you have it on and keep collecting MP, you will never run out of the 2nd ability, so that is overall the better one, considering that can keep you moving faster for longer periods of time. Once you cast Ines's 4th ability, it will run, but it will run out. And other than that, I would say Ines's biggest enemy is honestly Ines. She cannot deal with more Ineses. Ines is a Descendant that relies on tagging resources and getting stuff off the enemies, and if there's more than one Ines, these Ineses will literally fight each other more than the mobs to get their own resources. So depending on the group, squad and play, you will suffer with Ines significantly more than you will with Bunny. 4 bunnies is perfectly fine, 4 Ineses is an absolute shit show. Now, I've gone over all the pros and cons in depth, and I've given the builds, I've given everything. So now it's just up to you whether you want to fix your bunny up and get her going crazy in dungeons, overall being the faster weapon and faster bossing Descendant, oh sorry, not bossing, being the faster mobbing Descendant than Ines. This is truly the return of Bunny meta. This Bunny build, I on stream have run several times, and I've just been bullying Ines's permanently and constantly. The only way Ines can stand a challenge is if Ines is running a true max setup like Choco was earlier. That was the closest I've had to any Ines actually beating me in any run, and even in that run he did not end up overtaking me. Bunny will out DPS, outspeed, and generally just completely and utterly outplay Ines. I showed the build and everything before. Invest in it. Bunny is the superior Descendant for dungeons as of right now. Now, with Ines's nerfs being confirmed and her 1st ability is most likely going to stop going through walls, this means that Bunny will have a clear cut advantage over Ines. This means overall Bunny is still going to be superior, and if these Ines's nerfs do go through, Bunny is absolutely going to curb stomp Ines. Now, this has been a long video, but I wanted to give you the complete and utter depth of absolutely everything. So now you can go away and finally tell people that Bunny is the better option in the Descendants, out of the Descendants for mobbing, running your 400%, running your dungeons, running your Void Vessel. The only thing I would think Ines would completely outplay Bunny in, and not even by a massive margin, is Sigma Sector due to the spread on her 4th ability. But yeah, that's been this video. I hope you've enjoyed. Please do smash that like button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Grab yourself some popcorn because you deserved it.